Well, it looks like it might be closer to happening than a lot of people thought. According, I don't know how many of you guys that watch my podcast, the Xbox Nation podcast, and we talked about this because this was sort of a breaking story as we were doing that podcast. But looking into it a little bit more, where there's smoke, there's fire. And Fable, which, again, Phil Spencer on Twitter the other day said he didn't say no. He didn't say it's something they'd like to go back to at some point or it's not in the works right now. He actually said that it has a lot of places where they could go. And then you just kind of put two and two together as far as what's going on with, they just signed this deal with Studio Gobo. And I actually did a video about that as well. And what I had mentioned was they had worked with open world games before. So to me, that was a little bit of a red flag or something along those lines that, hey, they could be working on a particular aspect of this. And now there is an article that's kind of pointing out exactly what I was saying. You'll have to translate it, but I will link it in the description so you guys can check it. And basically, Studio Gobo has two games right now, a multiplayer RPG and a free-to-play game. Now, the free-to-play game looks like it's supposedly going to be using the Toys to Life type situation, and that is it could possibly be the Ubisoft game. Maybe it's like mobile, or maybe it's something along those lines. But the RPG is a third-person action game. They require personnel with combat experience and combat techniques. They need personnel with experience in raising levels. They're looking for a level designer who has experience in multiplayer mapping, and they're also looking for people to design a complete and complex system based on rewards. So yeah, that apparently is very interesting. Now, also a thing that's interesting is the fact that Studio Gobo is working with two different engines, Unity 3D and Unreal Engine 4. Now, Unreal Engine 4 is exactly the engine that was being used on Fable Legends, and so if you were just gonna maybe work with those assets or something along those lines, I think that would be something that you would probably still see, because that was always the contingency plan for Fable Legends, was take the art assets and things like that and make that into a Fable 4 or like a reboot or whatever they're gonna do with it. So in addition to that, there are people that used to work at Lionhead Studios and now are working at Studio Gobo. Luis Miguel Herrera and Steve Malpass. So they're not the only ones either. And apparently there are some other people from Creative Assembly and 22 Cans as well. So if you guys know who 22 Cans are, that's Peter Molyneux's developer group that left with him when he left Lionhead Studios. So again, I don't really believe in coincidence, and I don't know if Studio Gobo is making a multiplayer element for a Fable game. Maybe they're sort of still going to use that Legends template for like a multiplayer portion, but I would assume, and like I've been saying for the last 6 months, that we are going to get a Fable game, and we're going to get one announced at E3 this year. So I think that this is something that's worthy of a video and kind of putting two to two together, because Microsoft does still have some Lionhead employees or ex-Lionhead employees, and also, obviously Studio Gobo now does as well. And Gobo has, even though they usually had just done like the Toys to Life stuff, they did do an F1 game, and they have that open world experience and things like that. So they're not like complete nobodies or whatever. And just remember this: everybody was like, "What the hell? Why isn't Rare making the new Killer Instinct?" And that ended up being great when Double Helix made it, and it continues to be great even with Iron Galaxy making it. So don't always discount it based on who's making it. The game could be amazing, and I think it's worthy of at least giving it a chance. I don't know. I think this is impressive, and this is one of those things that I'll stay on top of and let you guys know if I hear anything else. Thanks for watching. Rack 'em up, comment, rate, subscribe. It helps out the channel tremendously, and it means a lot to me if you do that. Crapgamer, out.